All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be in for a fun episode today. I want to be covering the whole composite of early rescues. Yeah, the 2017, 18, 19, 20, and 2021. What do they mean? Why do they have more value? And everything else about the intricacies and the unconventional rating system of MoonCats. So I am Cat Dad, yours truly, and let's go ahead and dive in. First, I want to start with a little history lesson for you guys. So this I think this is an outdated one. I believe Pixel Map is from 2016, and this is only for the Ethereum blockchain. I know if you go back to Namecoin and the Bitcoin blockchain and Counterparty, you have like Pepe's and Eggs and Blockheads and some of these other things. But for the scope of this, we'll, for the most part, just think about the Ethereum blockchain and the NFT histories. So right now, there's like this massive NFT archaeological gold rush. Maybe some of you have realized it or not. Ponderware at the time when it was first rediscovered back, where is this at? Back in March 12th. So this was Gallen. He was one of the first people to figure out that, hey, look, there was this massive abandoned MoonCat rescue project, which at the time, see, it says right here, second oldest NFT on Ethereum. Oops. At the time, that's what they thought. Obviously, now looking back here, it is not the second oldest. It is like the fifth or sixth, depending on if you count Ethereum V1 and V2. Then you add pixel maps right here. So that'd be what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'd be sixth oldest NFT on Ethereum. But the first ever generative project, as we know, 4 billion possibilities at mint. It's called a procedural generative minting process that was partially stored on chain. It's not fully on chain, but it is partially on chain. And the boutique store is fully on chain. So at the time, MoonCats are only an ERC20 token because back in 2017, the technology was very limited. The ERC 721 standard was not even invented yet. I believe that came in towards the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2019. So the dev team had to create this like pseudo ERC 721, but it's really an ERC 20 kind of standard for MoonCats. And that's why the technology is so innovative and why probably that they're pixelated cats, because of the amount of storage limitations for the project. But now people are going back and they're sifting through the blockchain, trying to find older projects, because as we know, collectors and people in the world value things that have a lot of age, you know, antiques, collectibles, however you want to classify it. People are buying dinosaur bones. Like the farther you go back, the more people tend to give it value. So there is this like massive rush right now with MoonCats, and you could say that it was pretty much the start of it. This, or I believe CryptoKitties might have been the starts, one of the two, one of the cat projects. But so 2017 cats we know has value. They all kind of have value. Let's go to the rescue chart. So giving you a brief explanation of what this is. So 2017, there were 3,365 cats minted. 2018, it was 2,319, 71 in 2019, 3 in 2020, and then almost 20,000 in 2021. Due to literally this tweet by Gallen, I believe Justin Trimble was on it as well. This was an article that was written by Decrypt back on March 13th. So it was a few days after the rediscovery. And as we know, Ponderware initially launched this project. It was actually August 9th is when the contract went live. And this is from their original Twitter account. MoonCat Rescue and Exploration of User Discoverable Blockchain Collectibles is now live. Come rescue MoonCat. And so we'll go to the original website. This is the Adoption Center. So originally you'd go to Find Cats, and there's like a little planet that shows you could scan. Let's see if it will show. So this is how you originally minted a cat. The cats were free. All you had to do is pay for gas fees. And you could pay for, I believe it was 0.3 for a Genesis cat. So let's go back to here. That's how you originally minted it. So that's how 19,000, almost 20,000 cats were minted in 2021 and beforehand. But the reason why it digresses and what I've learned is that Pondware sometime in 2018 shut off communications with, and there's a tweet somewhere within their tweet history saying that they're discontinuing operations because if you listen to the interview that I have with them in the series, they mentioned that there was a mess up in the address that received payment for the Genesis cats, and all the money they were not able to recover. So they wouldn't have money to operate the servers and whatever things go back behind all you crazy devs to make sure the operation runs. And then at some point in, I think it was late 2018, there was a disconfiguration between an update with MetaMask and the adoption center, which is what we see here. So in order to mint a cat, you had to go and interact with the raw contract on Etherscan and mint it. So those who minted in 2019 and 2020 were those who were just curious and they just came across MoonCats and they had some sort of programming knowledge and they went in and minted their own cats. So that's why these ones are severely scarce and why some people tend to think that the 2019 and 2020 cats are actually more valuable than some of the 2017s. But with 2017, it's a historic year in crypto in general, because 2017 was the kind of the coming out party for crypto. Bitcoin went from 600 to 20,000 in 1 year. Ethereum went from, I don't know, was it $1, a few dollars to 1,400 ish. So that was the coming out party. That's also when the NFT standards were beginning to come out, NFT craze, all these projects that started popping up in 2017, most prominently with CryptoKitties. Remember, it bloated the Ethereum contract. It almost brought the entire system down at some point. So with MoonCats, it spans across 5 years. And I believe, and maybe you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's only 2 NFT projects that have mints across a 5-year time span. And that would be MoonCat Rescue and its other kitty cousin, CryptoKitties. But the difference with CryptoKitties is that it's not scarce. There's a breeding component, and I believe there's over 2 million CryptoKitties that exist compared to the MoonCat Rescue of 25,440. So depending on how you view it, roughly 25,000 minted across 5 years and 2 million roughly minted across 5 years. Again, I'm not an NFT archaeologist. I do prefer these kind of projects because that's a little bit more of my background. I own an antique store. It was my first business, but enough about me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but okay, so that gives MoonCats value. So let's go to, this is the adoption center. You can see here, these are the ones that are still sold as they're unwrapped. So they're not, these are in their original state. As you can see, these are the numbers of mint. So this is the second ever cat minted, third, fourth, fifth. So right now the top 10 floor is 128 ETH for if you go unwrapped. Some people choose not to list these kind of things. And some of these listings haven't changed. Like since this was rediscovered, these 4 specifically have been the same price the entire time. So who knows if this person even still has access to this wallet. That would suck if somebody paid 1,300 ETH for this and had no way to retrieve those funds. But you can see there's only 1 page now. Upon rediscovery, there was like 5 pages. Like, I'm not even joking. There was so many pages. So we've worked so hard over the last 6 months. And this is why the unofficial wrapper was created, was that upon the rediscovery from Gallen, and they wrote this article, Ponderware was nowhere to be seen. They came back, I believe, 2 days later and tweeted out, but everyone wanted to sell these as soon as possible. So an independent developer came in, created the unofficial wrapped contract, which you see on OpenSea, and there was no metadata. It was just very basic contract so that you can pretty much just buy and sell the cats. And then later, a month later, Pondware introduced the acclimated wrapper, which acclimated doesn't mean anything. It's just a marketing tool to help you distinguish the difference between the unofficial wrapper and the official wrapper. As you can see now, it actually just says official wrapped and acclimated. So here we see 17,900 items. This means about 18,000 of the 25,440 cats are in the official wrapper. There's about 2,000 that exist in the unofficial wrapper, which is also on OpenSea. If you type in MoonCats, you could see it comes up right here. Yeah, so 2,068 in the unofficial wrapper. These are real MoonCats. They just are in the wrong wrapper. So you don't get to receive any of the benefits like the boutique store, Cuddle, and any other new games, the loot prints, and all the other games that come by. So this is where we see there's 4,700 owners. I just put up a tweet today that there's actually 6,600 owners across the unwrapped and the official wrapped cats. So now that I gave you that explanation, the historical background, again, people evaluate these things differently. A lot of, I guess you could say the majority of collectors tend to say the 2017 collection is the rarest and therefore has the most value. They were minted 4 years ago. Yes, all cats are technically 2017 cats, I guess you could say, because the contract was created in 2017. But people are talking about the mint. When was it created? When was it rescued? And that, for a lot of people, it seems, is where the value is. So as we could see, the floor for 2017 at this time of recording on September 27th is about 4 Ethereum. And you see, this is the mint number. So 3,000. And I mentioned it goes up to 3,365. So as you could see, the varying degrees of these MoonCats. These are tabbies are the stripes, torties are the 2 various colors, and then there's pures, and pures are just 1 coat. I don't think I see anyone. And so these prices, they range. They are based off of mint numbers. You see, as you get lower, the mint number tends to get smaller and smaller as the price rises. But there's also other things that go into this in terms of the rating system. Oh, here's a pure right here. So there's a thing called character cats, which I will make another video on that'll come soon, that mimic other real world characters. Like there's an orange one that looks like Garfield. There's a Cheshire cat that looks like Cheshire. They call one aliens because it's the same colors as Alien Punk, Zombie, Pink Panthers. So if you could get a low mint number in combination with a character cat or a clone, which is 2 identical cats that exist on the blockchain, then that's more of an amplifier to the floor price. And so as you see, like this is a zombie right here. This is why it's 6. So it's a zombie, it's a green hue. And see, the mint number is not like crazy. It's 27 out of 3,365, but it's pretty much almost 70% higher than the floor because it's a character cat. And this one's a pure. The accessories, some people prefer it. I haven't seen it make too much of a difference on the 2017 ones, only the 2020 ones for the most part. So also people are buying 2017s because, like I mentioned, the historical significance of just the overall crypto markets. So now we dive over to, here's a subsection of 2017s. These are called the day 1 cats. As you see, the day 1 cats, the value is much higher. It's usually it ranges anywhere between like 3 to 5x of the 2017 floor. And it goes to number 491. This means that these 491, it's actually 492 because there's MoonCat 0. So these 492 cats were all minted on the first day on August 9th. As you see, the floor is like kind of thin, actually. 16, 17, and then it goes all the way to 22, 25. And then once you start getting into the top 100, see, like here's the first one that's in the top 100, and that's 32. So this is the top 100 is trading, or the top 100 floor is trading double, almost triple, or double, yeah, excuse me, not double of the day 1 floor. And then you get into top 10s, and the top 10 I showed you here is 128. So then the top 10 is trading at about a 4x multiple of the day 1s. So this is where you get like the very vintage collectors. Yes, they're all rescued in day 1, but I think this is just my speculation that human psychology, you want double digits or single digits or triples. And so this is where you begin to find preference. And also in the top 100, which I'll speculate with you guys, I'll let you in on some alpha just because I like to have fun with you guys. See all these cats in the top 100. So this is Mr. Moo. This is my cat, the first ever named cat. And also it's a clone. And so depending on what you consider historical significance, and I've had this debate with one of the ENS guys too, depending on what you classify as naming, then this could be considered the first named NFT ever. Domains, like if you with ENS, if you have a domain, the name is minted into the domain, where this is the name is applied afterwards. So I guess that's also some of the subjectiveness. But here are some other names down here, which Nick Szabo, Trump, Clinton, Vitalik, Elon Musk. Oh, here's a Garfield. So I think this is actually pretty rare too. And then here's the sub 100 mint Genesis cats. So these were the first Genesis cats that were created in the first block. So these have these ones, the top 100 ones, are considered more valuable than the other Genesis cats, even though all Genesis cats are 2017 cats. Since these are sub 100, a lot of people tend to value these at a little bit more of a multiple than the other ones. Oh, look, there's adoption that was offered. So this is where you get to speculate and have fun. I think if there's historical significance, then I think these named ones after leaders and political figures, I think are going to have much value because they were named in 2017. And so let me dive into where's the next one. 20. So here's here's Genesis. As I mentioned before, all Genesis cats are 2017 cats. As you can see the numbers, see none of these are sub 100, but they do have a high floor. You probably won't see a sub 100 one coming anytime here in the next few. Here's the first sub 100 at 333 ETH. As you see, then this 195 is 400 because that's how they're valuing it, is based off of the mint number. And whites seem to have a premium. I guess with these ones, you speculate based off of, some people prefer the coat patterns. Many people prefer the number. But you haven't seen the highest Genesis sale is 160 ETH, which was Logan Paul. And that was only number 500 and something. So even though their values are high, we have yet to see a purchase of that value of over 200. Now we go into 2018. The 2018 floor trades at a fraction of 2017. The floor for 2017 was 4. This one's 2.5. So 2018 is actually gaining on 2017 for a little bit. As we mentioned, there's only 2,319. So 9% of the total supply is 2018. Some people say because it's lower supply, they're more valuable, but just the historical significance of 2017 tends to outweigh it. Also, they hold all of the Genesis cats. So that's kind of where the rating metric. Also, one gentleman owns like 900 of them. Roller Dance, who's just an autist, who is claiming them through 2018 for literally nothing. So props off to you, man. You deserve it. But as you can see, not as many of these are minted, right? There's only 550 of these that have been acclimated out of 2,200 because that one dude owns like almost half the supply. Whereas you see the 2017 ones, there's 1,900 out of roughly 3,300. So how many of these are actually lost? I'm unsure. How many of these are in the unofficial wrapper? Again, unsure. So maybe we might even see a less supply than the 3,300 number overall, just because of the amount of stuff that is lost. And if they're in the unofficial wrapper, you can still acclimate them. So that's a possibility. Again, here, same thing. If you could get a early rescue in combination with a clone or a pure or a character cat or whatever the narrative is, then it's an amplifier. 2019, here we go. Floors came down. The floor was 27. So this person is probably just trying to sell it. There's 68 acclimated out of 71 total. So that's like 0.2%. probably the best that we're going to get in terms of acclimated percentages. Wrong one. Sorry, guys. Here we are, 2019. So not many to choose from. The value is higher. This is, again, scarcity. 2019, right in the depths of the bear market. Maybe that has some sort of meaning to some. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, there's a decent amount of pure ones. Oh, good. There's a Garfield. This is like the most legendary cat, in my opinion. This is owned by the dev. It's a perfect Garfield. Or maybe I think that one's, oh no, this one is Midnight Lightnings. So this one is the perfect Garfield in my opinion. But again, not for sale. But you can see the other one, the other Garfield is listed super high at 269 because scarcity and it's a Garfield, the most popular character cat. This one is close to an alien, not exactly an alien, but close. So you could, I guess, price similarly. Then you go to 2020. There's literally only two. We call them the COVID cats. I own this one. So heavy disclaimer. This one is owned by somebody else. There's only three that exist. And we've tried to contact the person who owns the third one that sits in his wallet. There's been confusion as to whether he's aware that it's there or that it's lost. So we're uncertain what the status is of that one. So we might possibly only be down to two. So what is the value of this? Neither of these have sold so far. Hint, hint. But we'll see. They're actually, this one is the number, some people are following statistical rarity. This one's number 3 in statistical rarity. This one is number 2, or trait rarity. And then I assume the other one is number 1 because of the scarcity and I guess the colors. So 2020, scarce. It's a year of COVID. I think that has some sort of meaning and price to it because that's kind of when crypto took the massive dive and then catapulted up because everyone was forced to interact with the digital economy much more. Now here you go of the 2021 floor price, almost 1 ETH. As you can see, there are 17,000 acclimated out of how many? 19,000 total. So almost all of them. That's wow. That's incredible. I did not even realize that. Like we're 2,000 off, and there's a lot of those are probably in the unofficial wrapper because upon the rediscovery, everyone was creating these and minting these cats from the 2021 to put them in the wrapper. So I assume out of that 2,000, you could probably say, what, 1,500 at least, maybe 17, 1,800. So you could say all of them are put into some sort of wrapper. And again, here it's the same idea of 2021's big supply. So that's why the floor price of these fluctuates so much because there's literally 17,000 of these bad boys in this little wrapper. So, or no, that's not 17,000. My bad. This is just all of them. My apologies. Let's search this. Okay, so 15,000. My apologies, guys. I was confused there for a second. So we have 15,000, and then you can say there's probably another 1,500 or 1,800 in the unofficial wrapper, but that's still a crazy amount. You're getting close to 80%, 90% put into some sort of official wrapper. And again, with 2021s, since there's no year that's like historically significant, since this is where most supply comes from, accessories have gained a little premium, trait rarity percentage, clones, character cats. People are trying to find any way possible to distinguish premiums within this class. Characters seem to be leading the premium charge, clones probably second. And then boutique items and trait rarities kind of in the middle, combating for third. We'll see what happens with blueprints and the other utility that Pondware introduces. And so, as you can see, follow this guy, MoonCat 2878. He's been doing a really good job. He gives us current updates at least once a day on the overall market. And so this was 20 hours ago, roughly. Yeah, so this was yesterday. Overall, 1 ETH, you see the premiums, and you can see where the multiples begin to happen. So 2017, 4, then you get 16. And so this is the acclimated price. This is not the unacclimated because I believe number 1 is listed for 172 ETH. And then you get the top 100, which is 32, which we covered. Top 1,000 is a narrative that hasn't taken off so much, but I think will probably be once people are priced officially out of these ones. Clones, and then you have the peers. So again, coming back all the way to this chart, and this is what matters most. Hero cards are selling at Christie's in a few months. CryptoPunks have sold at both Christie's and Sotheby's. As we know, I am selling a collection that has not been announced yet at Sotheby's here in the middle of October. Which other ones have gone? I don't think CryptoKitties has sold any there. Etherrock has taken off really hard, right? The floor for these, I think, is like 500 ETH currently, with the highest sale was 888 ETH. So Ether Lambos has gained some traction. So historical provenance is really important to many people. It kind of gives a sense of time and the feeling and energy that was around then. And MoonCats being the first generative art NFT, it was also the first naming enabled NFT. Like I said, name that was created after the token was minted. And it was also the first cat NFT. So if you see, I kind of see it as dogs are meme coins, and then cats tend to be like the community NFT token preference. There's 4,000 cat NFTs. Cool Cats just hit 10 ETH floor, so shout out to them. You have Gutter Cats, CryptoKitties, CryptoCats, MoonCats. A lot of cats everywhere. A lot of animals actually in NFTs. So just to summarize this easily, I think the early rescues and the evaluation or valuation system that comes down to it comes down to history, comes down to comparison to the traditional art and collector world, where the older, Picasso paintings and dinosaur bones I mentioned earlier, and autographs of old like presidents of Thomas Jefferson on a napkin, and old radios and things like that, that comes down to human psychology. And now we're combining it and putting it in a 24/7 market that is NFTs that are tradable. But then all of these historical items are also programmable. So when I bought into MoonCats, I called it programmable historical value. And that's exactly what's been happening over the last 6 months or so, is that the MoonCats, we now have a boutique store, which is fully on chain, which is, I think, the first of its kind. I think Begans has doing something similar now that they've released. So starting to see a trend there that maybe Pondware is doing something again for the first time. That is, this one's fully on chain. We have loot prints, Cuddle, more utilities going to come, more historical provenance. The Cats is out of the bag, and we're going to Sotheby's because these auction houses, they understand history, they understand value. They know that firsts are very important, and not just the crypto space, but also in just the world in general. And so before we get out of here, I do want to go to a different screen real quick, which is closing it out in the MoonCat Discord. If you come over to FAQ, we have here the timestamps and dates for all of the days. So as you can see here, it talks about the time, the transaction hash for these different rescue packages. But then here, so day 1 is 491. Day 2 goes up to 903. Day 3, 1132. See, decrease right here. This is day 4, day 5, day 6. So the first week cats goes up to 1568. So whether this kind of narrative with week 1 cats or day 2 cats or whatever takes off, I guess it's to be determined, because with an unconventional rating system where some of these newer projects, they give you the rating system is created by the dev team, right? They have, this is the amount of traits that something has, 1 through 7 typically, and then they jumble it up and give you out a percentage, and that's how people have been buying it. MoonCat's not like that. They're all very similar aesthetically outside of the character cats. That's kind of to favor some of those who are used to the newer projects who prefer aesthetics, and those who are the real collectors or find the value. The value is in the metadata itself. So you need to check the properties tabs for all of these projects that you're going on to. and that is it. So at the end of the day, just know that MoonCats are here to stay, and I'm trying to help you guys out as much as possible. And I'll see you next time.